Okay, so are you ready to decode some serious biblical imagery? Like, seriously, we are diving deep, deep, deep into the book of Revelation.
Deep end of the pool this time.
This isn't just some casual stroll through the apocalypse.
No, we're talking about the big monsters.
We're talking about monsters, but, like, not just the usual suspects, you know?
Cool.
We're talking Leviathan.
Leviathan, yeah.
And to help us unpack this beastly business,
Right.
we're bringing in the big guns. We're talking about Jamin Bradley.
Oh.
He's a pastor who, get this, literally wrote the book on biblical kaiju. It's called Kaiju of Biblical Proportions.
Nice.
No joke.
I love it.
Bradley says to really understand Revelation, you can't just, like, read it, you know? You got to decode it.
Like an ancient prophecy.
Yes. But I got to put on your X-revision glasses, folks.
You got it.
What Bradley focuses on that I think is so fascinating is something that a lot of people, when they're reading Revelation, kind of gloss over. Leviathan, that primordial sea monster from the Old Testament.
That's right. And he's a big deal.
Oh, yeah. Big, big deal.
In more ways than one.
Right. And so, you know, everyone gets really fixated, and I think understandably so, on the number 7.
Right. 7 heads, 7 seals, 7 trumpets.
Right. And Bradley's like, hold on a second. We're so busy, like, counting that we're missing this other huge symbol.
It's like we're so busy counting the heads, we forget to ask what those heads even represent.
Exactly.
And that's where this idea of Leviathan comes in.
Okay.
Because he's not just some random monster, right?
Right.
He is a symbol of chaos itself.
So where does Leviathan actually, like, pop up in Revelation? Because you've got dragons, you've got beasts rising from the sea. I mean, it's a monster mashup in there.
It really is. And it's a good question because Leviathan isn't explicitly named in Revelation.
Right.
But Bradley makes this really interesting connection between Leviathan and that 7-headed dragon in Revelation 12.
Okay.
The one waging war on the woman.
Right, right.
He says both figures are intrinsically linked to chaos.
Chaos, okay.
Disorder. Everything that goes against God's plan.
And to make things even more intense, if I'm remembering this correctly, Revelation straight up tells us that dragon is Satan.
Exactly.
This isn't some allegorical figure. This is the big bad himself.
That's right. Which raises the question. If the dragon, this ultimate embodiment of evil, reflects Leviathan's chaotic nature, what does that mean for the other monsters in Revelation?
Oh, like that other 7-headed beast in Revelation 13.
Exactly.
The one that comes charging out of the sea, which, come on, feels a little on the nose, don't you think?
It does make you wonder if Bradley's onto something here.
Right.
He argues that both the dragon and this first beast, while they have different roles to play in this apocalyptic drama that's unfolding in Revelation, they're ultimately reflections of Satan,
Okay.
each echoing the chaotic essence of Leviathan.
Okay, so instead of just thinking of these as, like, individual baddies, we're talking about this overarching theme of, like, satanic chaos embodied by Leviathan that's trying to, like, throw a wrench in God's plan.
Right.
That's a lot.
It is a lot. And it's not just about, like, wreaking havoc, you know? There's something deeper going on here. Like, Bradley argues that, you know, everything that Satan represents, deception, destruction, this rebellion against God, all of those things find their ultimate expression in this image of Leviathan.
So it's like when you see Leviathan, you're not just seeing a scary monster, you're seeing the embodiment of everything that's anti-God.
Exactly. It's about understanding these deeper spiritual forces that are at work in Revelation.
Okay.
You know, Bradley's really pushing us beyond just a literal reading of monsters
Right. Yeah.
and into this cosmic struggle between good and evil, order and chaos.
Okay, but even though Leviathan represents, like, this ultimate chaos, God's still in charge, right?
Absolutely. That's crucial to remember. Despite, you know, all of the mayhem that these forces unleash,
Right.
Revelation ultimately points towards God's triumph.
So how does that play out? What happens to Leviathan in the end?
Well, remember that lake of fire
Yeah.
mentioned throughout Revelation?
Yeah.
That's where Leviathan ends up,
Okay.
along with the dragon and Satan himself.
Okay.
It's this ultimate shutdown of chaos.
No more 7-headed sea monsters to worry about. Sign me up for that vacation package. But it's more than just destruction, right? Like, there's a deeper meaning there.
Yeah, absolutely. And Bradley highlights this incredibly vivid image in Revelation, the sea, a traditional symbol of chaos. And the unknown is no more the new heaven and the new earth. Gone.
Wow, talk about hitting the reset button. Like, the very source of chaos is just, poof, disappears. God doesn't just defeat it, he completely wipes it out.
And that's where things get really interesting. This victory isn't just about punishing evil.
Right.
It's about restoring creation to its intended harmony,
Right.
reflecting God's ultimate power and authority.
It's like God takes this like chaotic mess and rebuilds it into something new and amazing. What I thought was really interesting was this detail about Leviathan becoming food for the creatures of the wilderness. It's like God takes this ultimate symbol of chaos and turns it into something life-giving, like part of the natural order again.
That's a fascinating observation. It speaks to the transformative power of God's victory. Wouldn't you say? It's
Yeah.
not just about destruction,
Right.
but about redemption.
Yeah.
Even the most chaotic elements
Yeah.
are woven into this something new.
It's like taking that monster you were afraid of as a kid and turning it into like a harmless puppy.
I love that analogy. Yeah, it really highlights how God's victory transforms fear into peace,
Right.
uncertainty into absolute assurance.
It makes you think, if this big bad Leviathan represents chaos on this like cosmic level, what about the smaller Leviathans that we face in our own lives?
Yeah, we just touched on.
Like the things that to us represent chaos in our own little worlds.
Yeah, that's good. That's a really powerful thought. If Leviathan represents chaos in this really broad sense,
Right.
what does God's victory over that chaos mean for us, on a personal level?
Yeah.
Like, what does it look like for us to confront and ultimately overcome those Leviathans in our everyday lives? That's something I hope you'll keep pondering long after this deep dive is over.
That's a great question to live everyone with. So until next time, keep your eyes peeled for those Leviathans lurking in the deep. Thanks for joining us.